God helps those who help themselves, Lattice. The tide is rising. We must play for time. Light the candles. Too gaudy. If I'm to live this night, I must not outshine her. Too red.
A gift from the Queen herself. What better choice?
That one.
Lettice. Remember, child, curb your temper. No matter what she says, how much she tries to goad you.
Stay close, Cat. Rosary. The rosary. Amen. Is this how you enter a prince's chamber? You forget yourselves, gentlemen.
The Queen will not receive you. Their orders stand. You are to be confined in the tower pending investigation into the charges against you. Fetch your things.
I am with her day and night. She never met this man, Wyatt. If there was a conspiracy, she took no part in it.
Then she has nothing to fear, madam.
Quickly. We must catch the tide.
I will write to her, plead my case.
You would do well not to defy her, my lady.
And you, sir, would do well to remember I, too, am a king's daughter. Your Majesty, my dear sister Mary, I humbly beseech you to remember your last promise to me, that I will not be condemned without proof. Now, on your command, I am to be taken to the tower. A place surely more fit for a traitor than a loyal sister.
I beg you, let me come to you so that you may hear my testimony. For I swear before God, I never practiced, counselled, nor consented in any conspiracy against you.
Enough! She has made fools of you. This is just more of her tricks. She thinks if she buys time, she can soften my resolve. Now the tide is lost.
My lord.
There is another tide at dawn, Your Majesty. We can...
Transport her in daylight, so her followers may abduct her, mount another rebellion in her name. Must I think of everything?
These lines signify what, my lord?
I believe she was afraid an incriminating postscript might be added.
Dawn tide it must be. My Lord Gardiner, 'tis my wish that you take charge of her interrogation in the tower. Do not fail me again. Will God punish me as I am now punishing her?
He knows you do it in his service, Your Grace, as he knows all things. It is not just for your own protection, but that of your husband's. Only by proving her guilt in this Protestant plot can justice be dispensed, and with it the threat she poses to you both. Your father found the strength to deal with her whore of a mother. Now you must do the same to deal with her bastard child.
And if her guilt cannot be proved?
To break her silence, you must first break her spirit.
Sir John Bridges. He will be your custodian here, my lady.
Shall we?
I pray you all. I pray you bear witness that I come here as no traitor, but as a true and loyal subject of the Queen, and shall be until my death.
A fine pair of lungs on him. You're Mr. Wyatt. Your castle in Donington. In January, you proposed to visit there, did you not?
Donington? Which county is that?
Berkshire.
I have so many properties.
Thomas Wyatt wrote to you at that time, did he not? Stating his opposition to the Queen's marriage and his intention to overthrow her government. To put you on the throne in her place.
Did he not name Donington Castle as a base for his rebellion?
That you meet him there with your supporters.
Had I received any such communication, I would have alerted my sister and the Privy Council.
He enlisted the help of France. Assembled 4 contingents in as many counties, numbering over 2,000 men to march on London. Only a fool would undertake such a mission without first gaining your consent.
Since I'm not personally acquainted with Mr. Wyatt, I have no insight into how his mind works, foolish or otherwise.
Poison was the chosen method of disposing of the Queen. A letter to Wyatt from the French ambassador. Death is the only solution to end her disastrous union with King Philip and save England from Spanish rule. Do you deny you share such a sentiment?
Like most women, I have no head for politics, sir.
Every Protestant in the land condemned the match. Now, why should you be the exception? Wyatt's confession will put an end to her dissembling. We're looking at days, if not hours.
Go no further than your commission here, Sir John. In the future, we may have to account for our dealings with her.
John Seymour, Duke of Northumberland.
Scores of them.
Lady Jane Grey.
Her mother is a subject she does not care to speak of, much less think of. One of the Queen's ladies sent to serve you.
Or spy on me. Wyatt's letters, Cat. Burn with my own hands. All of them.
Yes.
Then we are in God's hands now. No, stop, please. Guys. Someone.
But it was a bastard.
I must.
Just the lions and the menagerie. Hush.
I never wrote him a letter on that matter or any other.
How do you explain your reply? I will do as I see cause. You are condoning their conspiracy. Admit it. Biding your time waiting to see if their insurgents were successful.
Since I received no letter on the subject, it follows I did not reply to him.
No, you were too artful to reply in writing.
I could neither condone nor condemn a conspiracy of which I was ignorant, sir. Though it seems I am to be condemned for the ambition of others, or their malevolency.
If she will not admit to her treason, Wyatt must be made to do it.
He denies her collusion. Denies ever communicating with her.
Not the rack nor the bribe of a reprieve can move him otherwise.
The Privy Council will never consent to her trial, Your Grace. Not without his testimony or her own confession.
To do so, we risk the mob taking to the streets on her behalf.
No man will meet his maker with a lie on his lips, Your Majesty. If the rack cannot persuade Wyatt, let the prospect of eternal damnation do it for you.
Prepare his execution warrant. Now. Today.
Fresh air is most restorative. To see the sky again.
That man, who is he?
Robert Dudley, my lady.
Robert is here.
Since a year past.
On what charge?
Treason. As were his father and his brother, before the scaffold took them. His time is overdue, I fear. Is she acquainted with him?
They were companions as children. Close companions.
To accuse my Lady Elizabeth for conspiring in the matter for which I am charged. Free him! Free him! They think that death will wrench that life from me.
Leave the Lady Elizabeth, Princess!
But it is not so. Nor ever was. She had no knowledge of my intentions, nor consented to them by word or by deed. As God is my witness, with my dying breath, I swear that this is true.
This is murder!
then she must be dealt with by other means.
Your Majesty.
It's time.
The Lady Elizabeth.
You're too late, sir. She's no longer with us.
God protect you, my lady! God defend you! Gracious Princess Elizabeth!
Elizabeth. Querido señor. Confío en que estés bien de salud.
Sí, Majestad, estoy bien, aunque apenas.
You have the king to thank for bringing you here. It was he who intervened with the Queen on your behalf.
It seems I am in your debt, Your Highness.
Alas, despite my endeavors, I cannot guarantee your safety. She persists in her conviction you are a threat to her. Her mind is quite set upon it. It seems the love you inspire in the people inspires only envy in others.
Their affection is about the memory of my father, Your Majesty, nothing more.
I would speak with my sister alone if it pleases you, husband.
I know Your Majesty is ill-disposed towards me. But I beg you, tell me what it is I have done to offend you, so that I
Your
may...
pleas are as insincere as they are tiresome, sister. And it is God you offend with your charade of purity.
I was not raised in the Catholic doctrine as you, but I'm trying to learn its ways. With your help, with your good guidance.
You think I don't know hypocrisy when I see it? But you can fool me as you do others. Not enough that my mother was left to die alone in exile, while yours stole her place in our father's favor. That I was forced to wait upon her as a mere servant. Must I now endure the deceit of her daughter, too? It is I who now bestow the favors. And where I see fit, the punishment.
The punishment must fit the crime. I have committed none. If you claim otherwise, then in justice you must prove it. That is still the law of the land, is it not?
hoped my marriage would bring me comfort, companionship. But thanks to you, it has imprisoned me. We cannot walk outside the palace walls without fear for our lives. My husband must sleep alone for his protection, while I must sleep with this beside me. It's in your mind, is it not? Seize your chance.
That ambition exists only in your mind, sister, not mine. Must there always be this enmity between us? Surely it is not beyond us to put the past to rest, to reconcile.
The council is preparing an act of parliament to return the country to the church in Rome. In time, the Protestant heresy of our father will be a ghost in the people's memory. Until then, your confinement will continue. Somewhere less public than the tower, out of their sight, and out of mine.
Giles, where did they take you? Where do you take her? Is it to the tower again? Giles!
Why not simply cut the wretched girl from the succession and have done with it? No matter. When the Queen is with child, the Lady Elizabeth will be as irrelevant as she is now inconvenient.
Forgive me, Your Majesty.
That one says too little, sees too much. What if there is no child and I outlive the Queen? All our efforts here will be wasted. No. If the country is to remain Catholic, the Lady Elizabeth must convert. She must be seen to publicly submit to the authority of Rome.
If, like her father, she refuses to submit?
As a wife, she must submit to the authority of her husband. It was England I married, my lord. One sister will do as well as another.
My precautions against the release of the Lady Elizabeth continues, Your Majesty. But I must confess the duty of it is demanding. Her Her ill temper towards her custody is relentless. I am daily challenged by her tempestuous moods, her incessant demands to extract a new concession from me.
I need books, Sir Henry! The Psalms of David, the English Bible, Cicero! And I asked for my tutor, Roger Asham, to attend me so I could continue my studies. How can I endure this purgatory without stimulation? Without conversation? Without the rigor of debate? Oh! When will my ladies be returned to me? Is it not sufficient that your guards watch me noon and night? Must I suffer it from the Queen's witches too? If she forbids me to write to her, I will raise my demands with the Privy Council. Even the most wretched prisoners in the Tower have that right, do they not?
Forgive me, Sir William. The Queen is scrupulous in matters of security.
Accounts for the Lady Elizabeth's attention relating to her Hatfield property.
The expenditure for your grooms, milady, it seems excessive. Can you account for it? It's the only pretext I could find for coming without arousing suspicion. It began over a year ago. She reinstated the burning of the Heretics Act. Nearly 300 Protestants burned at the stake in as many days. The council is divided. The economy is decimated because of this wretched war in France. The people are near to insurgents. Every time your name is shouted in the street, her malice towards you becomes more fixed. Even now, she's devising new ways of disposing of you. Your marriage to Don Carlos of Spain is her latest notion.
Don Carlos is but 10 years old.
It achieves her end. You're exiled from the country.
And if I refuse her?
A mother will go to any lengths to protect her child. The more so if it is heir to the throne.
She is with child. A queen, a mother, and a wife. Her own holy trinity.
The day her child draws its first breath could prove to be your last. You are a symbol to the people of hope. For a future without fear, without repression. But that is as much a curse as it is a blessing. Every Protestant hothead who swears allegiance to you increases the danger you are in. If you want to survive, you must remain invisible to your allies and your enemies. Let his report speak not of your defiance, but of your compliance, of your newfound devotion to Rome. That way all our survival lies.
I have one life, Sir William. Must I waste another year in this godforsaken place?
God has not forsaken us. He is testing us.
Robert Dudley. Is there any word of him?
He struck a deal with the king and is fighting alongside him in France in exchange for a pardon. So Robert knows the trick of survival, if nothing else.
The king grows impatient for word when he should return. The doctor said she was due a month past.
It seems his wait is over.
Not now. Not yet.
You spoke too soon, my lord. This is but another false alarm.
Truenos. Y no fuego de cañones.
I've come for her.
You are to come to London to court, my lady.
How so, sir?
The Queen is no longer. She died this morning.
And her child?
It seems there is no child, nor ever was. Her symptoms were of a tumour. Preparations are in hand to transfer the realm in your name, Your Majesty, A delegation of Privy Councillors is on the way to pronounce you Queen.
If she is dead, prove it to me, sir.
How does the weather, Sir Henry?
The wind is harsh today, my lady. Your Majesty.
I have braved worse, I fancy.
I hope you know that I only ever acted out of duty.
Then your duty is done, sir. This is the work of the Lord, and it is marvelous in our eyes.
Your Majesty.
Out with the old, Sir William. Let us hope the new was worth the wait.
Welcome you, O mighty Queen. Our love in you is sure. For unto England's sandy shores you will the truth restore.
See how the 4 degrees of Gemini are rising, with Mercury ruling the ascendant. Mercury, as you know, is the winged messenger of the gods. He's also strengthened by being in the 10th house of kings. Now see, in the 12th house, the moon and Jupiter are together, which...
But the date, Dr. D. What day does it decree?
By my calculations and the lunar longitudes, the 15th day of the month is the most propitious for your coronation.
Your cousin, the Duke of Norfolk, is waiting outside, Your Grace. He is most insistent on an audience with you.
He must wait his turn, like the others. See how the buzzards descend. Be on hand, Dr. D.
Your Majesty, the Earl of Sussex.
Your Majesty, dear cousin.
My Lord Norfolk.
I come to serve you. You have but to name it.
I see your impatience has not lessened over the years, Thomas.
Nor your wit, cousin. As ever, we are all diminished by it. As by your beauty.
I shall take your offer under advice, cousin.
If it is advice you seek, then if the post of Secretary of State is not yet taken, then I will...
As you know, I was tutored by the finest scholars in the land. I am fluent in 5 languages and conversant in the principles of economics and philosophy, both ancient and modern. I'm also an expert in literature, music, and poetry. And my horsemanship, they say, is unparalleled. But should I ever require advice, you shall be the first to know it.
Majesty.
They were cleaning. And, there it was.
How many more?
They lit to the palace like mouse holes.
This is not the work of mice, Sir William, but rats. Seal them up, all of them. Easy. You're sure that is... If anyone asks, I am at prayer. Robbie?
Look at you.
How do I look, pray?
Ah, you want me to worship at the altar of your beauty like all the others who court your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a frown line I see? Oh, yes, the hands of a queen. They look the same to me as always. I've been waiting for you to summon me, Bess. I couldn't wait any longer.
I trust your wife as well.
Your court is stuffed full of married men. Am I to be the exception? Exiled and excluded with no explanation, no reprieve. My father was not a man to defy Bess. On the subject of marriage or any other, am I to be punished for my obedience to him? Since you ask, my wife has been sickly of late. I would have come to you sooner, invited or not.
If she is unwell, your duty lies with her.
Do you think it's duty that brings me here? Ride with me, Bess. Ride with me like you used to.
I am needed in court.
The post of Secretary of State, Sir William. I can think of no better man to serve me. But there is a condition. Whatever my personal will or preference, you shall always give me the counsel I need, not what I want to hear. No matter how much I rail against you.
I will hold you to that, Your Majesty. I would first counsel caution, if I may, that you become familiar with the functions of state, your new responsibilities, before you embark.
I have endured the cautious life too long. You of all people know that. You saw how my people greeted me. If I am to keep their hearts, surely I act decisively with confidence and purpose.
Then we must start by addressing the issue of your marriage, before rumor and speculation undermine their fervor. The King of Denmark's son has been mooted, as has King Eric of Sweden.
God's breath, Sir William. Let us get my coronation ceremony out of the way before you plan another for my nuptials.
The people need to know the succession is secure. The realm is safe. You cannot rule alone, can you?
Is that the list of councillors?
The first are those that served under your sister, the second are those I recommend.
Pembroke is such a swaggerer.
But he can raise an army of knights at your command.
Norfolk. You saw how puffed up he is. And as my cousin, he has a claim to the throne, so he boasts.
All the more reason to keep him close to the throne where we can see him. Robert Dudley. Man's the son of a traitor, a rank opportunist.
None of us are responsible for the sins of our father, Sir William. And opportunism is no sin when it's for survival.
Or in his case, advancement.
By that token, half the men in my court could be found wanting.
Will you be inviting his wife to court also?
A wife's place is at home. Indulge me in this one thing, William. I shall forever be amenable to your demands.
As you say, we must act decisively.
Of you nothing more than faithful hearts in your preservation of me and this Commonwealth. That I, with my ruling, and you with your service, make a good account to God, and leave on this earth some legacy of comfort in our posterity. Here are my wishes and intentions. I dislike waste and profligacy in all its forms. I intend to oversee the national budget with the same rigor as with my households and estates. My foreign policy shall be directed by the same principles. I will always defend England's shores, but I will not decimate our resources trying to expand on them. You shall find me resolute on this. As for religion, henceforth, all services will be conducted not in Latin, but English, starting with my coronation. How can my people understand the power of prayer unless they first understand its meaning? If they are to accept the Protestant faith, it must be through persuasion, not purges. Let the Catholics keep their crucifixes and robes if they wish. There is but one Jesus Christ. The rest is trifles.
She thinks to make herself legitimate by legitimizing her faith. We should live so long.
She's her father's daughter, no matter what they say. The hair proves it.
Look closely, sir. Her eyes are her mother's. We have the chance to end this wretched petticoat government, my lords. Let us seize it. The Queen will marry the Archduke Charles. Agreed?
Admit your love for him. Only then can you find the courage to do what you must and discard him.
We are guilty of nothing immoral. But if I choose so to dishonor myself, no one shall forbid me. No one!
BBC One drama The Virgin Queen continues same time next week. Michael Douglas is on the trail of his kidnapped daughter in the thriller Don't Say a Word after the news next.